Okay, we're live. We're just making sure people are hearing us properly. Thanks for your patience. Yes, all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our second dialogue with the Shorts and Competitions filmmakers. My name is Dani Rodríguez. I'm here with
I'm Tonso.
Yay! And we're the curators of the section Shorts and Competition. Before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge that our festival takes place on the unceded, ancestral, and traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Humkaminam-speaking Musqueam and Tsleil-Waututh nations and the Squamish-Nitchum-speaking Squamish Nation. We are grateful to be able to share stories from Latin America and elsewhere in the world on these lands. And we are also grateful to our funders for making the festival happen, Canada Council for the Arts, BC Arts Council, Metro Vancouver, Downtown Van, Canadian Heritage. Thank you so much for your support. And well, now we are here with directors from Program 2 of the short film competition. The short film competition is actually the longest running competition in the history of VLAF. And this year we were lucky to get 357 submissions. So now we're down to 15 finalist shorts. Program 2 has 7 of these 15 shorts. And I'll pass on the mic to Anna to introduce a bit more about our dialogue and the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Dani.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Anna. I co-curate this section with Dani. We are incredibly excited to have received over 350 submissions. This just makes it even better every year. So we're very excited to have you here. We have in our section, we have creators from all over Latin America. And this year we have new stories and an amazing new lineup for everyone to enjoy. So in this second program, it's called Entanglements, and we explore the encounters and disencounters, the relationships and revelations. In this program, we see characters struggling to connect in the intimacy of their everyday life. The complexity of each individual and their experiences take us through the journey of 7 characters in our second program. So we have the creators here today and present virtually. So we'd love to take a little round of introduction for you to present yourselves, to tell us a little bit about your projects, and linking back to the title of this program, how do you think the struggle and the complexity of reaching out for that connection takes place within your projects? We'll start off with Sofia.
Hi everyone. So the introduction, my name is Sofia Rodríguez Picero, and I'm from Chile. I'm the director of Marajoro, a short film we shot in Rapa Nui like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And Rapa Nui is a Polynesian island that it kind of belongs to the administration of Chile. So it's not exactly Latin American, but this island is also Chilean, and people are already like mixed, and the official language is Spanish and Rapa Nui. And the second part, I got lost. There was a lot.
That's okay, Sofia. We were talking about how in this program, the theme is the complexity of the everyday connection and how the characters struggle to connect with their surroundings or their relationships. So we ask if you could tell us a little about how you see that represented in your project. The struggle or the complexity of the individual connection between everyone.
Okay, so I don't know if my fellow um, directors have seen the short films. I haven't seen your short films.
No.
Okay, so it's about a teenager in Rapa Nui, and he struggled with his father. His father is very strict with him. He wants him to like follow and learn the traditional culture, the dances, the music, the songs, the stories. And he's a teenager, so he likes other things, like surfing. So he has to struggle with um, this harshness of the father, and he's like divided between following his steps and following what's right, like preserving the culture and doing what he loves and like his passion, and where he feels the connection with his culture, which is in the sea. And this happens in like 2 days, the story. And also I wanted to show like uh, everyday life in Labanui and the beauty I see in everyday life in Labanui, like the uncles playing songs, the fishermen, the grandmother smoking and listening to the radio, uh, friends, kids riding bicycles and all that.
Thank you, Sofia. Let's go on with Manuel. Yes. There.
Hey, how are you? Well, I'm Manuel Valenzuela. I'm a filmmaker and editor from Venezuela, but I've been living in Madrid for a couple of years now. And my short film is a documentary called The Oysterman. I shot it this December when I was in Venezuela for Christmas, and it follows the life of Gregorio, that is a fisherman, that an oyster seller, especially specifically, and he has been selling oysters in Playa Yaque in Margarita, that is an island in Venezuela, for more than years. And I decided to follow his life for a day, so we see him on all his different activities that he makes in a day, from going to the mangroves to pitch the oysters, and then going back to clean them in the beach and sell them to the people in the beach. And at the same time, I share like his thoughts about different things, and we can listen to him speaking as well in the background. And the other question was the struggle. I think that the main struggle here is like, uh, well, the first struggle that I imagined was how this people, because always that you go to any beach in Venezuela, you can see a lot of sellers selling any kind of stuff, and they're always very funny, and they have like very good strategies, and they're very dynamic in the way they sell you things. So it was interesting for me to follow the life of one of these persons. And I think the main struggle is how they make their living in such a complicated economical context. And that was one of the questions that I wanted to explore with this work.
Thank you, Manuel.
Welcome.
Sebastian? Yes.
Hello, my name is Sebastian. I live in Mexico City. I'm from Mexico. The name of our short film is called Incredible Summer of Jesus, but it is because the protagonist, it's called Jesus, which is also my great uncle, the brother of my grandfather, and he's a non-professional actor. We shot this short film in 35 millimeters. It was a school project. Actually, it is my second short film, and I think the it's a comedy, but it's a different type of comedy because it's like a comedy of the normal day, the usual day of people. Like it seems so weird how the world functions from the from an old man, which doesn't understand so much things as the technology, the way bureaucracy, how do you say that?
Bureaucracy. Yes.
Bureaucracy works, and he lost his ID, so he wants another one, but they put a lot of things he has to do in the way, and that's basically the main story. And it was also um, I wanted to explore the idea how the world isn't designed in this moment for old people. Like we don't talk much about them, we don't care much about them. We think that they are useless or they don't have desires, or and it's really not easy. Like the main character, my great uncle, it's based on his on his character in the movie, and that's all.
Thank you, Sebastian. Andrea, do you want to go next?
Yes. Yes. I was okay. Well, I'm Andrea Urquiola. I live in Salta, which is in the north of Argentina. I'm from Patagonia, but I've been living here in Salta for 15 years now. And I just finished my first short film, even though I began working in the industry for my whole life. Just I turned 47 and I decided to make my first short film. I'm an assistant director. And well, I really felt compelled by the story, and I really made a commitment with myself to shoot it. Even though the situation here in the country is really difficult, but I have to say that I got a, a help from my province, Salta, to shoot it, and also from the Institute of Cinema like a few years ago, and just now I could finish it. And it's a story. The main theme, entanglement, was very resounding with my short film, I think, because it was like an impossible connection between a son and a mother, that they lost their ability to talk to each other because the mother doesn't have the tools to understand her son when he is going through a transition, a gender transition, and she doesn't even understand what's going on with him. So it's very difficult to name him or to even see him. And in the short film, we see that this connection. We only see his son from her son from the back of his neck. And for me, as I'm a mother, so I think that if your kid doesn't even look at you, it's a very like sad image. So I wanted to portray that. And well, it's a story that takes place here in Salta, in a very small town. And it's a very different story of getting in touch with your kid transition. It's a very different story from what you know that happens in the cities, because this is a small town and this mom has not the tools of the education to get her son. So for me, it was I've been inspired from a true story. So it was really important for me to tell it. Well, that's pretty much.
Thank you, Andrea. Okay, Pau, do you want to tell us a little bit about your project
And
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay.
yourself?
So I'm Pau Arratia from Monterrey, Mexico. Although I'm living in Vancouver, and this is important for my film. My film is a short documentary slash experimental film about my relationship with my mom, basically. And well, it's about how now in this stage in my life I'm starting to understand a little bit about what motherhood in a way I don't know, like how you connect with your child. And for, of course, like while growing up, I only had the perspective of being the child, being the daughter. But then just moving away and having conversations with friends about their desire to become mothers. I started to think about why I am, like, for sure, like I don't want to have kids. And I just started to think about yeah, why have that opinion of like why I want my life to be like child free. And part of it was the fact that I carry a lot of wounds from my childhood, and those were things that I didn't share with my parents, and I really wanted to share with my mom, but I felt like I couldn't. But then now I felt like I had the tools to communicate with my mom with a little bit more perspective and with more empathy and compassion for her role as a mother. So that was like it's both the synopsis of my film and also the answer to the question. Yeah.
Thank you, Pau. Thank you for being here with us today, all of you. I don't know if we want to begin. If you want to begin with, do we
Okay.
just keep going with Pau, or should we start with Sophia?
Maybe.
Maybe
Okay.
Sophia.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes.
So, Sophia, you already talked to us a little bit about how Marajoro touches the themes of intergenerational identity and connection to one's roots. We wanted to know what did the decision of creating the film in the character's mother tongue imply for the process? Like the film is mostly in Rapa Nui, and we also wanted to know what did the experience feel like for the whole crew, which we also understand most of the crew is Rapa Nui as well. So maybe a little bit about the language and
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So um, first, I was still at university when I started thinking like, what will be my first project as a professional, and I knew I had to do something in Rapa Nui because even though I'm not from Rapa Nui, I spend a lot of time there. I have an auntie. She's like my godmother and like really my second mother. And I had been going like every summer for 10 years at that point. So I had observed a lot of the dynamics and the people and this intergenerational issue. And so I put those things together and wrote the script, and then like finding the money takes forever, and so we can skip that stage. And then we shot the film. It was a mixed crew because we had people from Rapa Nui who I knew from before and other projects, and the director of photography, Fred Renata, is from New Zealand. He's Maori, and we also brought people from Santiago. So it was and the editing was done in Hawaii, and the post production in New Zealand. So it was like a mix of cultures, which was very nice, very beautiful. And the language, I remember when I was looking for funding, like locally in Rapa Nui, some people told me like this short film should be in Rapa Nui, like 100% spoken in Rapa Nui. And I didn't want to do that because I wanted to portray how it really is right now in Rapa Nui. And what you see is that young people and kids, younger generations, speak more Spanish in Rapa Nui. And you see more the older people, the elders and grandfathers, fathers, they speak better the language, Rapa Nui. So I thought that made more sense to me, and it was more faithful to real life. And also, I there are other Polynesian islands, of course, and in other these other islands, the other official language is French and English. This is the only Polynesian island that speaks Spanish, which is really weird, and not just any Spanish, but Chilean Spanish, which is horrible. Our accent and how we speak, and the mix between the Rapa Nui accent and our horrible accent, Chilean accent, it was so weird that it's fantastic. I felt.
Yes, it was an amazing decision, Sophia, and we love the how the concept of relating to one's tradition can merge and also change generationally. So I did have another question for you regarding the actors. How many are natural actors, and how many actors did you actually use for the film? Are they all natural actors, or?
They are all natural actors because in Rapa Nui there is no one who is a professional actor yet. And we did the casting, and for example, for the father, the actor is called Akahana, and he's a teacher. He worked as a teacher, as a math teacher for like 20 years, and then he changed jobs. He started working at the municipalidad, but when I met him, he was still working at school. So I watched him how we were doing the casting of the kids at some school, and he helped bringing the kids to the room where we were going to do the casting. And I saw him how he was with the kids, like how he acted. He was fun, but suddenly he was very strict, and like his face was, then we asked him like, would you like to do the casting for our short film? And he was the perfect person for the role. And we just heard yesterday that he got a nomination for like a second, how you say, actor secundario.
Supporting actor.
Supporting actor.
Yeah, supporting actor here in Chile for some our Chilean filmmaking awards, and he's not even an actor. So that was beautiful news, and he's very excited. And yeah, the ceremony will be in September, so we'll see. But just that he got the nomination was amazing.
Yay. Yeah, no, love the actors. They're very compelling, and thank you, Sophia. Now going on
Yes.
to Manuel.
Manuel. So this is a film that also showcases the other vision of migrating, those who decide to stay, and also the beauty of that decision. A character that is deeply connected to his place of birth, and whose profession is inextricably linked to his territory, but whose part of his family has already left. So, Manuel, how did you come across this character? How much of this story is your story? Because, as you told us, you are an immigrant as well. And how does this? What was it that interested you in his story to actually just go through with it?
Okay, well, actually, the idea for the film started as an experiment because there was no like an actual short film that I wanted to make. I just had the idea and the interest in these people selling things in the beach, and I knew that I was going to Margarita on December, but there was no any budget for the project. So I just decided to, okay, I'm gonna take one day of my vacations and I'm gonna use my phone to record a seller from the beach. So the first day that I went, I like stand in the sand, and I started like staring, like doing people watching of all the oyster sellers. And then a couple of minutes or maybe an hour later, I saw Gregorio, and because I saw there are a lot of them, and I saw Gregorio selling the oysters, and he had like an energy and a vibe. It was interesting for me, and also his face was kind of intriguing because he had like this thing that it was between tierno, like cute, and sad at the same time. But he was funny, and he has like this nice way to sell the oysters. So I approached him, and he was very nice. And at the first moment, he said, "Yeah," like I told him, I probably you don't know it or you don't think about it because it's your daily work. But I think this could be very interesting for people in other parts of the world to see this very artisanal way of the things that you do daily. So that was the approach that I took, and I knew because all these people has a struggle. The what we were talking after, before, and I knew that that themes were going to come up, but I didn't know what exactly was going to come up. So I decided to record everything, and in this process of recording everything, that was when I figured out that he had 8 children, and his 8 children were outside of the country, and even his wife was outside of the country, and he didn't want it to go because he was in love with his island. And that was a very that was something that I discovered while filming it. I didn't knew it before.
Nice. Are you still in touch with Gregorio? Has he seen the film?
Yeah. I'm still in touch, and it was funny because like a month ago, my aunts visit Margarita as well, and they found him in the beach, and we make like a video call. So, and I have his WhatsApp number. He has like a phone that he shared with. I think his wife is back in Margarita now, so they share a cell phone because when I contact him, he told me like, okay, we can film this. It was like 30th of December, I think. And he told me you need to be like at 6 in the morning in the hotel, but I'm not gonna have a cell phone, so you need to wait me there. And I was there like 6:15, 6:30, and he was not showing up. And then like 40 minutes later, he was like, "Oh, I lost the first bus, but I'm here, so let's go. Are you ready?" Yeah, and it was like a 40 minutes walk down like a hill till the mangroves.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, those are great shots. Harvesting the oysters in the mangroves.
And his charisma too.
Yeah.
His charisma is the camera loves him. The camera certainly loves
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. He has very a very strong glaze.
Yes, yes.
That was very good.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Manuel.
And now with
Sebastian.
Sebastian and the incredible Summer of Jesus, we love this heartwarming story, which is the reality of many people who maybe spend their lives in solitude after distancing themselves from their families. There's also the age that you were mentioning at the beginning, like being an elder person in a huge city, in this society that seems to not integrate older people into the life of everyday. um, just Jesus, the main character, really brings out the essence of the story to life. And you already talked to us about Jesus being your great uncle. Um, but we wanted to know what it was like working with him. And now that we know this about the actor, also the story, we thought it's a fiction story, kind of like an epic journey of Jesus trying to reach the ID office before it closes and all the things that the obstacles along the way. But also in this pursuit of getting an ID in order to connect again with his brother. So, yeah, if you want to tell us a little bit about working with your great uncle, but also the story that you show us in the film, what is it based on?
It was amazing because he became one of my closest friends, and I always say that he's kind of the real director of the short film because he his life in the film is pretty much his life in real life. Uh, but he lives with his brother, not my grandpa, and another great uncle, and that's like the only thing that we took apart in the short film. But independently, he has practiced meditation since like 50 years ago, and he doesn't know how phones work. So he really lives in the present and he knows how to breathe and be in this moment and in this place. So when like in every short film and in every production something went wrong, he always like told me, remember where you are and breathe. And that's why I say he's like the real director of the short film. And it was like a game. Like I didn't know if he wanted to be part of this game, but it was a slow process because he lives really near my house. So I used to went with him to have lunch, have a meal, and talk about life, and took some photos. And eventually, I said, "I have to make a short film from school. I really want you. I really want to work with you. I know that you are not an actor." He used to sell shoes, so I know this, but we can really have so much fun. Like I really want to do this independently. If it turns out well or wrong, I want to share this precious moment with you. And he accepted, and I knew he was perfect from for the character because he used so much things of his life in the film. Like eventually he said, I know what acting is about. It's about like becoming real, based on of what I think about. I don't know if I explained it correctly, but he says he said something like that in Spanish. And then we were like, oh, do you remember these friends of this friend? Do you remember this family member? Well, I want you to act like him or like her. And that's all the direction. And I gave him the script, but I said like I want that the character talks like you. I wrote it like I would say it, but I want you to say it with your own words. and that was pretty much the way we worked together.
Whoa, that's very particular characteristic of working with someone in your family, someone that you've known for a while, and also who knows other people around you. So
Yes,
it's
an incredible way of getting to know maybe a family member that you hadn't gotten into that sort of deep connection with.
See,
exactly.
also it was really difficult
Great
because
actor.
we shot in 35 millimeters, so we only have like 1 or 2 takes, and that's all. So we had to rehearse a lot.
No, but he's great. We were sure he was a pro.
Uh,
he,
so much.
he is a
He
pro.
is a pro. He is a pro.
He is, now he is.
Thank you, Sebastian. Okay, now we're up with Andrea. So Andrea, this is in a simple and an everyday sort of tale. This film portrays the complexity of connecting to our loved ones in the most beautiful way. We feel the main character struggles to identify and fully understand her son's changes and choices. And this takes us through also the journey of the mother who decides to break that barrier and connect through details and through love. And the film also has a beautiful and inspiring outcome to a situation that defines how characters' lives, identities, and relationships evolve. So we'd love to hear a little bit more about what this project was like, what it means to you. What does your connection to the story come in? You already told us about motherhood. So you mentioned this was also a very collaborative project. Knowing the situation in Argentina, we just want to know more about how that all worked out and what it all meant to the team.
Well, as I told before, the story was inspired by a true story that I heard in my community of trans kids, trans and non-binary kids. I am a mom of a trans kid, so I have this community, which is very important for me and for my husband and for my daughter as well. And although she's grown up, it was really helpful for us at the beginning. And so I really connected with the story of a mom that she wasn't able to connect with her kid, and she once saw another trans kid, he was around 20 years old, and she saw him going by. She has a little drugstore shop by the road, and she saw him every day, and she thought, well, this kid is really killing it. Why is he so confident and so happy and so beautiful? And so in order to connect with her own son, she reached out to this boy and asked him how he did things. So for me, it was a very surprising way, because she didn't reach for medical or a psychology help. She reached out to another trans kid. Oh, he was older than her kid, and so to fully understand or to reconnect with her own son. So for me, that was wonderful. And of course, when I heard this story, I started weeping. And I asked her for permission. I said, well, this is going to be new for me, but I really want to tell your story. And so I wrote it and I sent it to her, and she said, oh, I cried all the afternoon. Please tell this story. So, and I also gave the script to her son, and he said, well, if this story helps another kid like me to connect back with her mom, you must do it. Use my own name. So he was very enthusiastic about it. And that was the birth of the story. So for me, it was really close from my heart to my heart. and I knew that we should tell her. And all the process, it was for me very powerful and interesting, especially the casting, because when I made an open casting, and the scene that I wanted them to try was a scene where the mother calls this kid for the first time by their chosen name. So for every kid that made the casting, it was like a very emotional moment. And after the casting, they shared their story to me with me. So we sat down and talk and cry. So it was really beautiful. So all the things that happened behind the story, they are so powerful and so moving for a lot of people, even those that were were not chosen. It was important for them, and some of the kids still write me, and I want to see the short film. So it is really a really happy task for me. And also my daughter is an animator, so I wanted
Did she
that.
make the animation that appeared?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. She directed the like a small animation scene by the end. So it was our first time working together. So it was really, really nice.
It really shows the power of, healing through art and through cinema, and also through community.
Yeah.
Through community.
Yes, totally. And sometimes people in Buenos Aires, they think, oh, in the north, people is very close, and they will, because lots of friends ask me, oh, here they're in Salta, must be like very close-minded because they are really religious people. But sometimes they have like another way to connect with things, and sometimes they do it from the heart. So they maybe they don't fully understand, but if they love their kid, they will find a way to reconnect and to get into terms with their kids' choices. So for me, this community has shown me that for me, because I also had that prejudice because I'm not from here originally. So it helped me to deconstruct that prejudice.
Nice, Andrea. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you.
Yes, and now going back to Pau Arratia, Black Box is a very intimate and vulnerable film that uses archival footage from an under the sea exploration, and also voice recordings from calls that really submerge the audience in the story and the emotions of the director. So, how was the process of filmmaking and editing these various materials to express yourself to your mom regarding your personal experiences and traumas, and what is it like sharing this with a larger audience as well?
Well, this film was challenging to make in every way possible. Like first of all, I had absolutely like no budget. So it was all labor and like public archive. And like it all started with my idea of having this. It's actually just one phone call with my mom. And that was the first challenge. Like, okay, I'm gonna have this phone call. Initially, I had the idea of like recording both of us. Like, I had a friend. I have a DP friend that she said that she could help to like record my mom, like to film her while we were on the phone call. And that was an initial idea, but I knew that since this was probably the hardest conversation that we, at that point in my life, like the hardest conversation we would have ever had, having a camera and knowing that the camera was filming footage that was gonna end up being in a film was gonna change the dynamic of the conversation. So I chose to just film, actually just use the audio from, and we didn't film the like video at all. And then so then I had that part, which was the story, which another part was like, okay, so how I am the director as well of this film, but I'm also the subject. So I before the phone call, I made the choice to completely disregard that this was a film, that this was a documentary, that this was gonna end up being something on screen, and just completely be me talking with my mom about things that I would have wanted to talk to her about when I was a kid. And so that ended up, like, what happened was that I started crying like really early on the phone call. So most of the film you're gonna see, it's like it's very emotional. And I wasn't thinking as a director at all in that moment. So then I had that very very, I don't know, like heartfelt conversation, but also like we touched upon very difficult topics about me struggling with depression and anxiety, but also starting to have some traits of some eating disorders, and feeling like I couldn't talk to my mom about them, and like coming from a perfectionist family, but also being like a queer, like neurodivergent kid. That's not, I don't use those words in my film, but I felt like I was wrong. Like I had listened to my parents, like they had told me stories about their childhoods, and to me they were perfect. And I'm sure they filtered out all of the things that were like maybe not so great about their childhoods, but because they're both perfectionists, I just felt like they had a perfect childhood. And when I started having troubles, like having trouble with many things, I just felt like I couldn't tell them, because then my childhood wouldn't be perfect, and then I wouldn't align with my parents, and maybe they would be disappointed. It just was like this whole thing. And now that I was older, I understood that they didn't have an expectation of me having a perfect childhood. So in that sense, the conversation is not all dark, it's not all pessimistic, but there's a lot of holding space for each other's journeys. And she, like, no one prepares you really to be a mom, and no one prepares you really to live through childhood. So it's a lot about that. And so with that story now, but just on audio, I now had to figure out how to put something on screen, right? And I thought about like symbolically, what was this journey about? And it was like going to the depths of my childhood, and finding the shipwrecks, and finding like all the things that were like just sunk to the bottom of my personal history. So when I all of the governmental footage is available in the public archive. So I was like, okay, maybe I can use all the existing footage that is like the deep sea footage, and I can link it to my emotional journey of discovering things there with my mom. And I feel like personally, I love experimenting with symbolism. I guess it's like some people were like, but I wanted to see you and your mom, and like see you on screen and see your faces. And I was like, yes, but like I also like this idea, and it linked to the black box idea of like a shipwreck, but also there's like when a shipwreck, it contains, the black box contains all of the information of what happened in the shipwreck, and it's the same thing also, like on screen there's like a little black box. Anyways, like I just felt like symbolically everything started to make sense for me and my film. And yeah.
Thank you, Pau. Pow. Thank you for sharing your story with us and sharing all your most intimate and vulnerable circumstances as well. We love to have you back. Pau was part of our youth jury program, and she was also a mentee in the mentorship program on BLAF. And now we love to have you back with your film. We're very excited for this edition, and we're very grateful for all of you for sharing your stories that come with identity and personal history, and sharing also very personal and very vulnerable parts of yourself. So always appreciate sharing yourselves with us.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. Before we say our goodbyes and just wrapping notes, we wanted to ask if there's anything else you'd like to say about your film or yourself. Now's the time. We still have a couple minutes, so go ahead.
I really find it so interested that you find like a connection between all these short films. For me, when I saw Entanglements, I said, "Oh, so on point." So I can't wait to see all your films and to cry to Paulina's short film because I know I will. But I can't wait to watch them. And thank you for sharing with us all these experiences.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for selecting our shorts, and I would love to see the shorts of the team, the whole team. That will be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll reach out and share with you if all of you agree.
Yes.
We can share
Cool.
films with all of the directors so you can see.
Nice.
Yes. And Free Palestine.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being here. The Shorts in Competition Program 2 will screen at Cineworks on Thursday, September 11th at 4 p.m. And we'll be joined by Pau Arratia, Andrea Urquiola, and also Marcela Oñate Truz, who's another director for this program, who couldn't be here today, but who will be at the in-person screening. So make sure to check out vlaf.org for more info on all the amazing shorts that are competing for the prize, the final prize of Shorts in Competition. But to us, you are
Everyone's a
all,
winner.
yeah, so incredible. And we're so grateful to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.